So, we've just booked the Airbnb at the airport, where we dropped off the rental car.
Mm-hmm.
This is on the
I don't remember.
19th, 20th?
The Monday, whatever that Monday was
Yeah.
after the 17th.
Right.
Which was really shocking because we were able to go to Airbnb, I think, for like 2 days with the credit card. It should not
And it didn't
have.
and it didn't decline. Yeah.
It shouldn't
Wow.
have. But it was kind of like, well, God
Yeah.
is like, that's the next step.
So now how do we get to the Airbnb, which was, who knows, we're over limit on that card, so it could decline at any point. So we tried Lyft, and it goes through.
Yeah.
And we met Andy. Hi, Andy. And
You remember the name? I don't. Hi, Andy.
I remember his name. Yeah.
Oh, he was a cool guy because he
Yeah.
was praying. He was learning to
Yeah.
trust God
Learning
and
to
pray.
trust God. Yeah.
And so we had that cool thing of just being able
Yeah.
to tell him share a little bit of our testimony with him.
Yeah. And pray for his family and his brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So we got to the Airbnb, and it turns out to be one of the nicest places we've stayed in.
Oh yeah, the view was amazing. It was like glass windows and everything, and it wasn't even expensive. I think this was
Yeah.
one of like the cheaper Airbnbs that we stayed in.
We've economized pretty hard on all of our places we've stayed, but we've been very blessed. Most of them have worked out really, really well.
Yeah,
and this was wonderful and comfortable. It was so comfortable.
Yeah, and I think the beautiful thing about it is that we're just letting God direct us on where to stay.
Yeah.
So we got to the Airbnb not knowing how we would even have food for the next couple of days,
Yeah.
not knowing what we would be doing beyond the
But
days.
we knew we had been obedient.
Yeah.
That was the thing. We knew we had been obedient. And we kept reminding ourselves. I don't feel the need to remind God of anything. He's not the unjust judge, after all. We heard a sermon not too long ago that pray until you get God's attention. Oh, and that creeped me out a little bit, even though it was a good sermon. There were a lot of really good things in that sermon about prayer, but we had this place, and we knew we'd been obedient, and within 24 hours of getting into Tulsa, God had sent us $1,000 from 3 different places that were very out of our control.
We could not have predicted it.
Yeah, we couldn't predict it, and we couldn't control it either. There was one place where we had forgotten we had money. There was one place where someone sent us money for no good reason. And then there was another place where someone sent us money for something that we didn't think we were going to get money from that in the first place.
Yeah, or anytime soon, kind of thing, because it's just been so long.
Yeah.
And things. So he provided, and I mean that money allowed us to have food for the entire period where we were in Tulsa.
And book the next Airbnb.
And book the next Airbnb.
Because while he had told us next up is Independence, so he told us to take Jody up on his offer to house us in Independence. They said food, gas, car, house. It was an all-inclusive resort.
And the funny thing about that is that that's their mission. It was that for me is a thing that blows my mind. It was their mission. That was why God had sent them to Independence in the first place, because God told them that he was going to be sending people to them, and that was what their mission was supposed to be. So imagine God just connecting.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that in the next video, as a matter of fact. It was big. Our next video will be about Independence. But here in Tulsa, at that point, he gave us the provisions to book the next Airbnb, to pay for a couple things that had to be paid for immediately, to put some money back on the credit cards.
So that could free up stuff to be used again.
And we just obeyed him with each dollar of food, where he said, and a giving budget as well, which is always the most fun part of the budget to spend.
Being able to give.
Yeah.
And then
Regardless of how widow's mite we are putting our two mites in the box, it is always the least stressful part of our budget because it was never ours in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
God shows us over and over, hey, look, all this is mine. All this is for my glory. All this is something I've given to you in the first place. So don't worry about how I tell you to spend it. Don't try and economize beyond what I tell you to economize. Don't try and be a better steward of my, what do you call it? Watching your parents' checkbook?
Your checkbook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are not to try and steward his checkbook better than he does. We are to do what he tells us to do with his money, regardless of whether it's the big percentages or the little percentages or the housing percentages or the car percentages or the giving percent, like all of it's just spend it how he says to spend it. And that goes for all of our resources, our time, our effort, our money, our relationships, everything.
Yeah.
So we were doing that.
And I mean, we got to that second Airbnb, and the thing that's so important, that's so interesting about that
was that it smelled really good.
It smelled really good.
Yes.
Thank you, Elizabeth. It smelled really good.
And Rebecca.
Right? And Rebecca. Was it Elizabeth or was it Rebecca? I am so horrible with names.
It might have been both. Well, there is a Rebecca there.
You're right, but I think the thing that really stuck out to me is that we spoke to Jody a couple days before. We agreed on like a pickup, like they were coming to get, he and Angela were coming to get us. And I tell you, the day that Jody came to get us was a day
that the previous provision was done. Yeah. We didn't run out. We didn't starve. We had everything we needed up until the very moment they arrived. It was perfect. It was exactly enough. Everything was exactly enough the whole way through.
Mm-hmm. And so I think a couple weeks ago you preached a sermon about what is enough.
Oh yeah. How much is enough?
How much is enough? And I keep thinking, man, is that a question we're even supposed? Well, in the context of what you preached it in, is yes, it's a question that we can ask. But it just
how much
hits
is
me
enough
like
for what?
God gives us enough.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing that was shown to us in that week or so that we were back in Tulsa. He provides the things that we were worried around. He showed up. He supplied.
Yep.
Right?
And then Jody and Angela took us out for pizza. They drove down to Tulsa to pick us up. We didn't even have to rent a car to get to Independence, which was about an hour and a half. And they came down and took us out for pizza and took us back to Independence. And that's where we'll pick up the next time.
Love you all.
That's weird.